I've never seen an Alfred Hitchcock film before this, but now I see why he's heralded as one of the best directors of all time after watching Vertigo. This movie is a mystery crime noir film wrapped in the themes of love, identity, and relationships. Let's talk about it. An ex-police officer with an intense fear of heights is hired to prevent an old friend's wife from committing suicide. But all is not as it seems. Hitchcock's haunting, compelling masterpiece is uniquely revelatory about the director's predilections and hang-ups and is widely considered one of his masterworks. The central mystery in this film is enthralling. They start the film showing us John Ferguson, Detective John Ferguson, played by the charismatic James Stewart. He's chasing a criminal across the rooftop when he slips and almost falls off the side of a building. He's hanging on the side of it, and when he looks down, he suffers from vertigo, completely debilitated. His fellow cop that was on the chase with him stops chasing the perp and tries to save him, but falls to his death in the process. And what a way to start the tone of this film, and starts the beginning of the journey of identity in this film. After this point, John is searching for purpose. He has to retire from the force because of the vertigo. They don't feel like he's up to snuff to be able to do the things that he used to do. If he looks down some stairs, he's going to be debilitated, or if he has to climb rooftops. At this point, it seemed like that was something they had to do a lot, and he's searching for purpose. And the way they do that, and they focus on that and the relationships and how that builds out, is very fascinating. And I loved how the film spent a lot of time in the beginning exploring the effects of not only the condition, but him retiring and what he's trying to do. A lot of these conversations he's having with old friends and talking about where he is in his life now that he's not a cop anymore and not knowing what to do with himself. Especially his interactions with the fabulous actress Barbara Gale Gids, who plays Midge, who was such a great character in this film and had great chemistry with Scotty. And this section of the film starts the theme of relationships, and we see Scotty bring up multiple times throughout this film, and especially in the beginning, in the first act, how he is not married, he doesn't have any relationships, he doesn't have any kids, he doesn't have anything anymore really, because he's retired from the force, and that was his whole identity. And he's looking for that one. You can see that he's looking for someone to be with, that have that purpose. And all in all, you could tell Midge is attracted to him, wants to be with him, loves this man, but he gives her no time of day.
Well, I guess that just about covers everything, doesn't it? I never married. I don't see much of the old college gang. I'm a retired detective, and you're in the shipbuilding business.
And their chemistry was off the charts. I was rooting for him to realize what was in front of him and just pick Midge. There was nothing wrong with her, but for whatever reason, he did not pick her. But the scene where she showed her painting her version of Carlotta's dress was absolutely hilarious to me, and I couldn't stop laughing after that scene happened, especially when she got real mad and started.
Marjorie, would you fool? Idiot! Stupid.
I just thought, like, you really didn't read the room. You're not really understanding that he's not interested, but she just keeps trying. And I love the fact that when the third act starts and he's in the mental hospital, she was right there for him, because no matter what, she loves this man, and she's going to show him that she's going to be there for the end. And I was just hoping the whole movie for him to realize that. And as the mystery unfolds, we get to learn more about Scotty, aka James, and him tailing Madeline, who's his friend's wife. And we start hearing about the stories about what is going on with her past, the fact that her grandmother went insane after her grandfather kicked her out and took her mother away from her. And she just wandered the streets going crazy until she committed suicide. And now Madeline's husband thinks that same woman is possessing his wife. And that exploration of both their characters and how they comfort each other was really, really interesting. That, combined with the beginning of the movie, exemplifies the tone and feel of this movie. Two people dealing with two different types of trauma, but able to comfort each other and feel like they're in company of people that understand what they're going through, even though they're going through two completely different things. In the whole movie, I was wondering, is this something supernatural? Is she possessed by her grandmother, or is this this something else? Does she have early dementia? Is this trauma affecting her in a different way? Or is this something I'm not even expecting? It heightened the twists and turns and every new information that we got. I'm trying to pinpoint and figure out what is going on. And every time I think I got it, it went into a different direction. And Madeline's husband telling her she's been possessed. James, Scotty, is like, no, she's not possessed. I can fix her. She's not broken. I can fix her and she will love me. And that was kind of the beginning of his obsession. What I was not ready for was James' obsession for Madeline to grow to such a ridiculous, insane amount throughout the film. Instead of focusing on Midge, who is this real, grounded, loving person, this person here that's super real and in your face, he's focused on this person that he basically created in his head, this construct, all these things that he thinks that he needs from her that she hasn't even really showcased, that he doesn't even know about her. The only thing he knows is about her trauma. That's all he knew about her, but he was falling in love with the ideal of what she could be once he fixed her. And I think that was a fascinating thing for this movie to explore in this crime mystery thriller. And it all comes to the head when Madeline is telling him that it's too late, she needs to do this, and she climbs up a tower, and as he gives chase, his vertigo comes into play, and it debilitates him, and he cannot save her. She jumps off the building and kills herself. And this creates a moment where he loses his identity again, because he lost his identity when he couldn't become a cop, that he made that his whole life, pushed all his loved ones away, that he didn't marry Midge or really commit to her, have any kids or be with anybody and have any kin. And now that he doesn't have that, he's trying to find all his purpose inside of Madeline, and now she's gone. He ends up in a mental institution, and after he gets out, this is where the movie goes into high gear. The biggest twist in the film, and one that I should have saw coming, but I didn't see coming because they mentioned it in the beginning of the film, the fact that he married into money, and they mentioned it was like a quick thing that they mentioned, and that's something I'm going to bring up later about why they did that in this film, is the fact that her husband, Madeline's husband, did all this so he can get away with killing her, so he could get all her money. And he had a stunt double play her to draw in Scotty the whole time. Her actual name was Judy. She looks exactly like Madeline, and this whole time he did not know. And when he finally sees this Judy character looking slightly different from how she looked when she was playing Madeline, he becomes obsessed with her, turning her into Madeline, wearing the clothes that Madeline was wearing the hairstyle that she was wearing, even changing her hair. And it was such an uncomfortable seeing a man pushing and pushing what he wanted onto the woman. And that was like a constant theme throughout the film as well. The husband doing it to his wife, and now Scotty doing it to who he thinks he's in love with. And it just really showed something that, obviously this is a movie that came out in the past, in the late 90s, but it's something that still happens to today, so it's still relevant. And once that's revealed, it really threw me for a loop. It made me want to rethink all the scenes that I saw before. I was like, which one was the real Madeline? When did they get switched out? When did she start playing a stunt double, and where did Judy come from? All these different things was going through my head, and I really realized that the film is focusing on these relationships, the love and the identity. Scotty looking to this woman for purpose and constructing this ideal for her that he wants and he thinks is the right way. And then when he sees the real her, he's disgusted. And on the opposite side, Judy falling in love with who she thinks Scotty is, and it's not the real him, and being terrified by the real person that she's involved with. I thought it was brilliant. And from a technical standpoint, this movie hits on almost all categories except one, which I'll bring up in the bad section. And I think that it was fantastic, mostly with the set design, the colors, and how everything popped really, really well. Each room signifying, telling a story about the person that lived in it, and really telling some environmental storytelling. Scotty's apartment being small, not much in it. You can see that he didn't really focus on home life, but versus someone like Midge, whose home is colorful, artsy, and really shows her what she really loves, even though she doesn't get to do it. I think that they did a great job of explaining someone's character through the set design. There was also a focus on femininity throughout the film. I think that they used a lot of things that looked like a vaginal, and also flowers, which is usually put together with women, and it was shown throughout the film, and I think it showed the showcase of what men think, because this is very male perspective film, what men think women power is and what James's obsession over. One of my favorite parts of the film is when Scotty is forcing Judy into becoming the Madeline that he wants. And at this point, obviously, he doesn't know Judy is Madeline just yet. And when she emerges out of that gray suit with the blonde hair slicked back, there's this green silhouette over her that makes her look like a ghost, which I thought was absolutely perfect and stunning. And also the scene earlier in the movie when he first sees Madeline in that restaurant, and there's all the walls are red, but when he sees her, there's like this bright in red here, signifying, I think, lust from him and danger for Madeline. And I have a community question. This is my throwback reviews, and my subscribers and the people in the YouTube community get to vote on the films, and I ask who has questions that they want answered about this film. And a fellow YouTuber named Movie Time Minute, you can see his YouTube channel here, go subscribe to him, he's great. He asked me, if this movie was made today, how much would it be changed to fit modern audiences? So for me, right off the bat, I think if they made this movie in a modern audiences, in a modern time, not set it back in the past, something that would be added to the film definitely is therapy sessions with Scotty going to figure out how he's dealing with the vertigo, because it's not something that people just have to deal with and never can get any treatment for. There's physical therapy you can do with it, and then his obsession, the way he almost goes comatose, get real help with therapy, and that's like would have been explored throughout the film. I think also with such modern technology, the way he would have detailed or tailed Madeline throughout the film would have been slightly different, not just follow her in a car, which could have been more interestingly done. He was getting surveillance, getting tapes, maybe tap wiring her room, different things that you see in modern movies now when someone is doing PI work that would probably be updated in the film now. And I also think because the obsession with sex in these kind of films, because this film doesn't focus on the physical, they focus on them kissing, but not any sex scenes or nudity. I think there would be some applied nudity. I think there would be some sex scenes in the film just to exemplify them being together and that romance that's going on. I think that those things would be changed in the film to fit it for modern audiences, especially having like a femme fatale feel for Madeline and Judy. And to continue answering that, but moves into the bad section, my main issue that I have with this film is that I think that the runtime is too long for the story that is being told. I didn't think that the runtime was used to be as intriguing as I wanted to. I was enthralled in a lot of the mystery, but there were certain aspects in between the mystery part that I wish that could have been like more in depth, like James and Madeline's relationship. I felt like I was the whole time like, why is he in love with her? All he knows is how she looks and not much of her personality, and that she might be possessed. I really wish they got more of them together having conversations and showing why he was falling in love with her, and also why she was falling in love with him. I get that he was helping her, but she didn't know much about him. Even after the whole ploy, why was she still in love with him when she ran away and changed how she looked so she can not be seen? Judy, obviously the one that was playing Madeline the whole time. So I wish that was explored a little bit more in the film. And I think I wished I saw Madeline with the husband a little bit more in the film as well. I'm not too sure when he killed her. I don't know if the movie's trying to imply that he killed her before he saw it in the film, but it would have been really interesting to see their relationship and how different it was versus her and Scotty. And the last two things is that I've heard that the score for this movie is phenomenal, and honestly, I didn't think it was that great. I think it was good, but it kind of sounded the same throughout the film, to the point where like the sound started kind of annoying me after a while. I was like, okay, they're about to play this again to heighten the mystery and the feel. This is not a bad score, but it just wasn't phenomenal. Or like, I remember the sound of the score because it was so repetitive to me personally, but it wasn't something where I was like, oh yeah, I love the way it detailed this scene. That wasn't it for me. And while I think the way the ending was put together was fascinating, him chasing her up the tower, going up there, and him beating the Vertigo, confronting her with everything that's going on, and then that nun coming up and looking so demonic and scary. I thought all that was awesome. But the ending of the film kind of left me feeling a bit empty, which was really, really weird. I felt like I went on this journey and it ended like that, and we didn't really get any resolutions. I understand that the movie was about the journey and the relationships, but I feel like the main crux of the story was not resolved in any satisfying way for me, even though I still enjoyed the movie a lot. The impact of Vertigo is undoubted. It pioneered movies in the American New Wave, like in that transition where camera work was the story dominated how the movie was told, and we were more going towards cinematography, emotion, the background, world building, and the actors' performances really telling the story. Either the quietness, the lack of sound, or different things that they did to heighten how you feel and see things in the movie. This movie, you could see, influenced so many movies after that, especially him creating the vertical effect. You see that effect so much in so many movies, even used when it doesn't need to be used, but he used it in such great effect here, and I didn't even know that this is like the first movie to use it. And there's so many other iconic scenes in this film that's been replicated in unforgettable moments throughout other films as well. So this movie definitely has a serious impact of cinema, and someone that is, I'm a baby cinephile. I'm not somebody that knows movies, but I'm starting to learn, and watching this movie was really a great experience. Seeing all those things like, oh wow, this is where that came from, while also it being a great film. But I have to say that emotionally, I wasn't super attached to everything that was happening. I appreciate this more from a cinephile standpoint than an emotional standpoint, but I do see it maybe growing on me in repeat viewings. So with that said, I'm going to give Vertigo a B+. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you personally rate Vertigo? Do you think this is Alfred Hitchcock's best movie of all time? That's what I've been hearing. Is this his masterpiece? Or is it somewhere middling for you and you think that North by Northwest, Psycho, and all these other films that he has, Rear Window, are better? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about my opinion on the themes and everything that happened in the film. Like the video, let YouTube know that you like this video and to get it popping. Attack that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of my reviews, reactions, live discussions, and join this growing community, and you can watch more of my content right now.